So yes, today we have Aishwarya Timurnikar with us. She is an BCom honors who has converted to IIM Indore. So let me go through her profile first. She has scored 96.6 percentile in her 10th standard, 96.2 percentile in her 12th standard. Then she did her BCom honors from SRCC Delhi, one of the best colleges in India to do BCom honors. And after that, she had 2 years of work experience or articleship in a CA firm. And then she did MBA from IIM Indore, and now she is working with GPMC Mumbai. Okay, so yes, Aishwarya, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
So yeah, about your preparation, how did you start and when did you start your preparation?
So, CAT is usually November, and I started my classes in the month of January. So, as you just mentioned, I was working in a chartered accountancy firm, and I did not want to stop working because the WorkX also helps in interviews and stuff once the MBA is done, or even for our interviews. So, I just started the classes. So, I think for 6 months or so, my major aim was just attending the classes well and maybe if there is something in practicing a bit, but the major studies like started after 6 months when major of the course in the classes was done.
Okay. And how did you prepare for each of the sections? Was there any strategy or any specific section in which you were weak and how did you improve on it?
So the thing is in courses like BCom honors, there's not a lot of mathematics, although the maths covered in CAT is more of 10th and 12th at the level of 10th standard, but still we do lose our touch with mathematics and stuff. So for the earlier months, my focus was majorly on mathematics because I think the other sections, for example, English, so verbal ability, for me at least, I used to read novels a lot. So that I thought, at least for me, it was that section would be stronger, and I did not want to take chances with mathematics. So I think that was the weak one. So for maths, what I did was that I tried to finish off all the topics and everything as soon as possible. And then I started giving my mocks. So one is when you sit for the mock for like 3 hours, but we also have mocks for particular subjects, like 1 hour for just one subject. So I think I took more mocks for maths. I think that's the way to go because CAT you need a good practice, and mocks really help you with that.
And other LRDI section?
So LRDI, I would say, for me at least, LR section was stronger. Not that DI was weak, but DI section usually one question requires a lot of time. And we had that experience that is CAT 2016, the one I appeared for. So that year, DI was very lengthy. So I think the main thing there is if you can just identify what is your strength and then you can work on it. So what I did was I practiced both, but eventually when I was giving my mocks, so I used to finish off LR first and then give attention to DI. And luckily or fortunately, it did help with my CAT because DI was very lengthy and took a lot of time. It did not make sense to give a lot of time to DI during the exam. For English, so English, as I said, I did not have a lot of issue with that section. But then what helps is, again, for some people, especially a few of my friends who thought English was something which was a pain for them. So what they did was, again, like 1 hour mocks just for that section. And apart from that, I think going like the other months, what I would say is just people should attend the classes well and maybe give a few hours to their practice according to what they feel is important for them to practice. And then I think that's the key for CAT.
Okay, Aishwarya, hi. So I wanted to ask few more questions. See, you were a working professional, right? So how did you manage your time while working as well as preparing for the CAT? And till when did you work? Like CAT is conducted in the month of November. So till when did you work till October, or did you quit, or did you take a preparation leave?
Yeah, so I worked in a chartered accountancy firm in Nagpur. So here the hours are not as bad. So what I did was I chose classes which started from say 6:30 and went on in the evening so that I could work well. This is for the first 6 months. After that, I think I started leaving office a bit early, and the last 4 months I took a leave because I was able to. So this is how I managed. But for the benefit of the students, so I have a few friends who used to work earlier. So I think what some of them did was they took a break for 2 months. So I think if someone who has hectic hours and cannot say take a leave for 4 months or cannot leave office early, I think at least 2 months should be their aim. That maybe talk to their managers or whoever the boss is that they need at least 2 months.
Plus, you just said you took a lot of mocks for particularly QA section, right?
Yeah.
So, that when was the point you identified that maths is your bit weaker section, and how many overall mocks, like how many full CAT mocks did you take?
Okay. So for maths, it's not like for that's the QA section. It's not like I was weak in that subject, but as I said, I'd lost touch because in commerce courses you don't have a lot of mathematics, and we usually lose touch, and that which is not the case with, like, for example, engineers. So it's not like, so I knew that I need to practice. So I used to give like more attention to that subject. So once, let's say, 6 months when my classes were over and I started, so I used to divide my day in a way where more hours are given to mathematics for me, so the least to that.
Okay.
And mocks overall, I think for the 3 hour mocks, I think 25 to 30.
Oh, great. And in
So
which month did you start taking the mocks?
so I think ideally one should start say 2 months earlier, the entire 3 hour mocks, but the highest number of mocks which one should give should be in the last month. Because I think by that time your preparation is done, most of your topics are covered. You know that, for example, geometry in mathematics is something, maybe I want to leave those questions eventually in the final exam. For example, they take a lot of time, or so I think by that time one is very clear with what his or her strengths are. So I think the last month should be the month where you should give a lot of time for mocks and then analyzing them. So, for example, give one mock in the evening and analyze it, say, the next day.
Correct. So I was just coming to that point of analysis, because a lot of our students, what to do, they just keep taking the mocks, and if what we suggest them is you should give at least 2 to 3 hours for the analysis of 3 hour mock. So would you like to elaborate on that?
Yes, so I think just giving the mocks does not help. So there are two reasons. So if you're just giving the mocks, first, for example, sometimes what happens is the percentile which you get is not very good. Your results are not very good. So there are two effects to it. One is you're just wasting time because then you're not working on what is wrong, and second is the morale goes down. These are the two things. So I think analyzing them really helps. So what one can do is you can start with the answers, and my suggestion would be, even if your answer is correct, just give it some time, that at least that area or that topic, at least that's strong. And then for the things that are wrong, give time to that, because I think if you do this, 2 to 3 hours of your study hours just goes on analyzing, and it really helps.
So yes, I mean definitely you are not weak in maths. 96 percentage plus in both 10th and 12th, so definitely you have scored more than what the average candidate scores. So, but while appearing for mocks of QA section, what was the strategy? Was there any topic you used to leave, or was there any section like arithmetic or algebra which was your strong point, and you used to focus on that first and focus on the other questions later?
Yeah, so my the thing is, yes, I did see that. For example, geometry, if not weak, it took a lot of time. And in exams like CAT, it doesn't really make sense for you to try and solve a problem. It's not how good you're at a single topic, right? So what I did was, in the earlier months, I made sure that I'm covering all the topics. But after that, so I think this differs from students. So every student will identify that these are my strong topics and these are not. And irrespective of that, in the earlier months, one should cover all the topics. And after that, as you said, like a few algebra, arithmetics, and then once you start appearing for mocks, I think the key should be to start. I mean, have a strategy the way you're going to perform in the final exam, and that is how you should build a strategy over the first, say, 5, 6, or 10 mocks. So what I did was that I covered all the topics first. Then later on, I did a few more sums in the topics I was strong at, because I knew that I don't want to skip these basically in the exam. The key is to make for example, algebra or arithmetic more strong, so that you don't have to leave any questions there. And then in the remaining time, what you can do is you can just go through, because sometimes what happens is even if you're not strong at a topic, the questions is easy, so it doesn't make sense. So I would say one should cover all the topics, and then eventually in every mock you should build your own strategy.
What was your final strategy? I mean, while appearing for your CAT exam, what was the strategy in your mind? How was your mindset at that time?
So I'll start with, say, QA. I used to start from the first question. So what you can do is, if it's taking a lot of time, then maybe leave it for now if you think you know that topic, and one should be able to go through all the questions, and the ones you're able to do in, say, 1 minute, 2 minutes, or whatever, say 1 minute or less, do all of them. Then mark the ones which you think might take more than a minute, go to them, and then decide for sure that you're going to leave, say, 5 questions or whatever which you don't know at all. I think that really helps. Otherwise, you'll just end up wasting your time. Because this has happened with a lot of my friends who are good at maths, but they tried to solve the questions. I think that's not the key.
Yeah.
That's QA. For verbal, so there are two ways which people usually have. Everyone has their own strategy. So for me, what I did was, so I think correct me. You can remind me. There are, I think, 4 or 5 passages. Correct?
5 passages.
5. So my aim usually used to be to complete 4 at least, and then go on to the other smaller questions. And if I have time, I used to go for the last one, the 5th one, that is. Otherwise, the other way which this can be done is, say, you want to leave, suppose, say, 10 or 15, whatever time is, and then finish all the passages in the rest 45 minutes, and then go to the other questions, that is.
Also, in DILR,
DILR, as I said, I think I used to finish off all the LR questions first, and then I used to go on to for DI. Because for in our CAT, the questions were so confusing. For many of the questions, we could not even figure out if it's a DI question or if it's an LR question.
also
So-
then about your mindset. I mean, how did you prepare for about, let's say, last 1 month? How did you keep your morale high in those days?
So I think about keeping the morale high, I would say one is not to be bogged down if you don't get a good percentile in your mocks. Just think that your mindset and your preparation will be very different in the final exam. Because this happens with a lot of people. Say if they get, say, 72 percentile, and then they know that with 72 percentile they'll not get into a very good college, for example. But I think that 72 does not really matter, because your performance in the final examination will be very different. That's one. The second would be, many times students do get just bored studying, but the last month or the last 2 months, you should just maybe plan your day and maybe say whatever you require. I think every student does identify that 8 hours or, say, just 6 hours. But then if you decide on 6 hours, those 6 hours you should just study for, like, give your 100%. And if you know that this 1 hour maybe I have not given my 100%, then just increase it by 1 hour, because I think it's worth it once you get the results. I think these are two things. Just keeping the timetable in place and not just wasting hours, and not being bogged down by the mock results. Just keep on giving them and analyzing them. It's fine. The final exam will be okay.
And definitely, it is worth it.
Definitely.
Mm, about you were lot into reading novels and everything.
Yeah.
How did it help you prepare for VA section? I mean, boy, had it made it easier for you to read passages or
Definitely, definitely. So the people who read novels, usually the speed with which they read is much better. So I think it does help you with the speed. And secondly, if you keep on reading novels, certain words and in the context in which they're used becomes much more easy for you to understand. So I think novels does help, but I would say if someone does not have the habit of reading, I don't think it's an issue as such. You can give maybe 1 hour extra to the VA section, solve the mocks, and I think it should be okay.
So, would you suggest such students who are not very much into reading to start at least reading newspaper, or is taking VA mocks the only?
No, so definitely starting with newspapers is a very good thing if you don't read already, because I think it helps in two ways. One is you get into the habit of reading, and eventually, when you get a good score and when you get shortlists for interviews, what happens is people then start reading papers and last 1 year, whatever has been the major news, and they start to cover it. They try to cover it in the 2 months. I think it helps with that also. So I think reading newspapers should be the best way for you to go ahead. Also, there are certain topics everyone is interested in. So if you can maybe just give 5 minutes, search for that topic, and maybe read it in just 10-15 minutes, I think that should also help.
So, one more question from her side
Yeah.
is how supportive was your manager, plus your family, and the people in your company while you're preparing for that?
So as I said, for me, I was like in a mid-sized firm, and everyone was very supportive there. So I had no issues there. As I said, I took 4 months of leave and stuff. But I think yes, your manager being supportive or not being supportive does help a lot if you're working. But even if not, I think one should maybe take out time in the morning or in the evenings. And I have friends who have then decided to just quit 2 months before their cat. I mean, that's a personal decision and may or may not be good. It's just something, but it does help if your manager is not at all supportive. But if you don't want to, I think taking out time is the only, there's no other option.
And now you are living with the brand of I am Hindu, right?
Yeah.
So how does it feel? How does it? What difference does it make in your job profile right now? In JP Morgan where you are working right now.
Yeah.
So what is the difference?
See, so there's definitely a difference. For example, the role I am working in. So for that role, JPMC just goes to a few MBA colleges. Like I'm in the Kozhikode and the other good colleges like IFT and Narsi Munji and stuff. So I think if you're from a good college, many of the roles get open for you. You at least have that opportunity. I'm not saying that the people from other colleges will not have that opportunity, but they might have that opportunity after 2 years. Say when they have a good work experience and they are good at what they do. But we have that opportunity definitely just 2 years before that. That's one thing. Apart from that, these such colleges, you have a good alumni network also. That also really helps a lot. So when I joined my company, there were at least four people from my immediate senior batch, and at least say 5 or 6, or maybe I don't know, even 10 in the entire floor. That really helps. So I think these are the two things that brands help with.
yes, guys, if you have any questions, you can ask us.
Yeah, hello, hi. So my question is, as you know that we have almost completed our halfway journey of our CAT preparation, right?
Yeah.
So there are instances at a time where used to divert ourselves or used to start losing focus from our goal or aim. So that is to crack CAT eventually, right? So you know how to keep that spark alive or motivated throughout the journey, so we don't get diverted and stay focused upright throughout our journey. Because as you know, there are times when we used to give mocks and there are times when we used to give mocks and don't get good marks in mocks. So eventually, and the mocks score, instead of rising, they goes on declining. So as we know, we are all our teenagers lack patience and give up
Yes,
eventually.
true.
So how to stay? My basic question is how to stay motivated and focused throughout this time.
Yeah, so see, the first thing is there are still 5 to 6 months, right? If I'm not wrong. So I would say not like a person cannot study for 8 hours for regularly for 5 6 months. That's just impossible. So I think, for example, for me, I can study well at night or in the evening once everything at home. So maybe identify a few hours in your day where you think you can study the best, and but for those hours maybe just give you 100%. But that is okay only for the next say 3 months. After that, you'll obviously have to increase your study hours and manage accordingly. So I know people who did not even study for a lot of hours and did not do that. But I think, I mean, I just think why to take that risk? You can study for 4 or 5 hours properly, and when you have that time in your day, and just score well. So I think that is one thing. So if you think, for example, that you can't sit at to study for more than 3 hours, decide on those 3 hours and at least give 100% there, and maybe then increase it. And for mocks, as I said, it's 5 months away, right? It doesn't really make sense to maybe lose your mind on those results. It doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, and also Shubham, if you want, we can send you motivational videos also.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I think everybody got the answers of their questions.
So thank you, Aishwarya. Thank you for
Thanks a lot.
interacting with our students, and thank you for guiding them in the right direction. We'll definitely connect with you once again in let's
Sure.
say 2 months before the CAT, so
Yeah.
that we discuss a lot more about on the mock strategies and everything.
Yeah.
And
Sure,
again,
sure.
we'll definitely connect for right theater.
Great.
Mostly,
Yeah.
if the situation gets better, we'll have you here at our center to interact with us.
Sure, sure. My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys.